We go back, Jack, do it again. We'll turn them around and around. We go back, Jack, do it again. Hey, people, y'all there? Anybody here seen my old friend video? Can you tell me where they've gone? They entertained a lot of people. We fell in love with them. I just look around and they're gone, 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 go. Anybody here seen my old friend video? Hi, y'all. I have an observation. How you doing? Hi, Nicole J. Designs by V. Hey, April Aries. Designs by V. What kind of designs you do, V? It used to be you can just click on your image there and it will show us what your page is. I think I do need somebody to make me some t-shirts, not to sell, just to be on here with. So if any of you guys do make t-shirts and they can be done online, let me know. Hey people, invasion of the body snatchers. All right, so I've decided I want to come on here and lend my views on these avatars. These avatars who have seemed to have taken over. Now, I'm not a person that's extremely judgmental. People do whatever the hell they want to do on their channels. But I've seen this trend where it used to be you would see human beings on here talking, right? That's why we knew who personalities were, because they were animated. They were talking. They were people. It's just like what happened with radio. Before they had television, radio was king, right? Not only for music, but radio. You go to radio to watch hear murder mysteries. Somebody acting out murder mysteries. They used to have all kind of, they called them soaps, soap operas. I think that's where it came from, where they would read parts and do acting on radio, because that's all they had was radio, right? And then when television became popular, people switched from, so radio is still around, but not many people listen to radio. I mean, they're not going to sit around their house listening to the radio. Usually radio is used now for people who are driving in their car, they're going to work, they're doing things like that. So it's become very small, the audience for radio, right? Because video is so much more entertaining. So this is what I've seen over the last year or so. Now, I'm not going to blame any particular person, but Sir King came on with his Avatar Nation. And then even the people who complain about all the avatars, they're behind avatars. So they're no people. They're no humans. You guys, I'm just saying this. I'm just giving you my opinion. So don't take it personally. But can you imagine how boring it is to sit and look at a picture while it talks? I mean, you have to sit there and just look. You're not looking at anything. So you're sitting there looking blankly because there's nothing there. I guess the designers decided to put a little thing like that so you know who's talking at least. But it's so boring. It's so much less engaging than video. Now you can sit and watch a whole movie, but are you really going to sit in your house and listen to a whole movie on the radio? Doesn't make any sense. It's so much less entertaining. We used to come on here and we would see people talking. We would see these personalities, and we would grow to like the personalities. But now it's like it's all avatars. Even the ones who hate avatars, they're still behind avatars. So what happened to the human contact is what I'm saying, honey. Because I find it hard. And some of these lives go on for hours and hours and hours, and all you're seeing is just a little ball bouncing. So you're basically like sitting, listening, looking at the radio where people talk. Why are we going backwards? Supposed to be going forwards. Now I can understand. I used to justify. I used to say, well, I know, I can imagine sometimes what a woman must go through to be camera ready and all. They got to do all the hair and the makeup and all that kind of stuff. I said, well, I guess that makes sense to be behind an avatar if you want to go through all that just to sit down here and talk for 20 minutes, right? But now that's all they do. They don't even bother to come on camera anymore. I mean, I hate to say it, people, but it's kind of boring. And then you're giving all of this action, all of this verbiage, all of this commentary about avatars. I mean, you have no idea who's even behind the avatar. Now I watch where they have got hour after hour after hour after hour talking about these damn avatars. You got no idea who they are. They're being accused of being 10 different people. Why the hell is that interesting? So we've turned this thing into now the search for who's behind the avatars. Their justification, many of them, is I don't want to be doxxed. So what are they going to do? Facial recognition on you or something? Just change the name if you want to change your name. Change your location if you want to change your location. I don't think people are that interested or that invested in figuring out putting your face with a certain job, honey. Oh, I know her. I work with her. Oh, somebody on the job is going to see me. They're going to tell on me. Oh, I work with. Lord have mercy. We have just tracked beef sector. I'm speaking to all of you guys. We have trashed this sector. I mean, we just trashed it. Y'all know when I talked to that lady Ty from the show, what she was saying, she was, I guess her spiel was to get us all involved was that YouTube was going to close down the beef sector. We're going to stop dealing with all of this chicken shit money because they're only hurting our brand, and they're going to do away with the beef sector, right? So her spiel was, we want you guys to become celebrities because if you participate in this reality show, then they won't take your channel because you'll be a part of an actual show. So technically, you will be a celebrity because you're involved in a television show, so you can keep your channels. This is what she said. She spun. I don't know how there's any truth in that. But the principle, we have so trashed this section over here. The entertainment has become calling people. It has become trying to get people's lives affected. It has become trying to embarrass people with the facts of their life. It has become doxing. It has become trash, and we have done it. I'm going to keep on saying I don't do any of that shit, but I'm going to keep on saying I'm not going to exclude myself because perhaps I have a part in it. But now this reduction to nothing but avatars. Everybody's a fucking avatar. It is a very rare person who will come onto one of these streams as themselves. Now, it couldn't be all because you're scared of being doxxed, because we know who a lot of you are already, right? So I just think we should put a little bit more time into actually improving our channels. Our channels are not improved by hiding behind avatars. Now, if it takes you if it's that much for you to just comb your hair, you ain't got to be coming on here like Madonna or somebody. Comb your hair, put a little makeup. Don't you do that to go to work? I mean, don't you do that to go to church? Don't you fix yourself up to go to the supermarket? How much work is involved in making yourself presentable enough, making up your bed if you're in your bedroom or whatever, and come on and be a person? I miss that. So I don't think this is moving in the right direction at all. I believe we did better when we actually were dealing with person, even though a lot of these people I've fallen out with now, I don't like them anymore. But they were still entertaining because they were actual people, right? I would love to come on and I would see what James says, and I would see what the two dead people would say or whatever. It was so much more engaging than sitting up there looking at damn pictures. Just how can you sit there like this for 2 hours and looking at nothing? Nothing's on there except for pictures. It's ridiculous. So no, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon or anybody else. I'm just giving you my opinion, people. How y'all doing today? Let's see what y'all think. What y'all think? Are you bored? Are you less entertained with avatars? I mean, obviously, StreamYard came along. StreamYard turned it where virtually everybody was on avatar then. They got comfortable with the avatar, and so now they just use the avatar on their channel. Everything's avatar now. I've seen it happen. I've watched it grow and grow and grow. And even the ones who complain about avatars, they say they're not behind. I don't trust you because you're behind the avatar. They are also behind avatars, honey. Damn, just fix yourself up a little bit. I mean, how much space do you need to fix up in your apartment where you don't have to be embarrassed about, toys laying around or whatever? Just make a corner, girl, and make yourself, because you're so much more entertaining. You're so much more entertaining. I think you will grow your audience much bigger if we can actually deal with a person. It's just not that entertaining to sit and watch a bouncing ball. That's all I'm saying. Hello. Invasion of the body snatchers. Invasion of the avatars. They've taken over. I mean, at first, I guess Sir King would come on there and he would have his little cartoons and little things and stuff. But at least he did put enough effort into making all these little cartoons and these little, whatever all this shit is, all these things to keep your eyes at least focused on something. But he just repeats the same one. It's like, you know, you're 30 minutes in and it's still just playing the same stuff that he plays every time. It would be so much more entertaining. Listen, most of the people on here, we're not in our prime, honey. We're used to people being not gorgeous anymore. You couldn't be so ugly that you cannot sit in front of this damn camera and talk, right? I admire Brianna because she will come on as herself, even though she knows they're going to talk about her and talk shit all about her, all that kind of stuff. We still know who she is, right? People will be drawn to that person because they enjoy that personality, all of who she is. So they're going on and on and on about this Jay Sparks from the very beginning. Now they're saying this person is a doxer as well, and she's done horrible things. But she's been accused of being 5, 10 different people. The fuck is that? So are we going to turn this sector into now we're just searching for who people are? We don't even know who the fuck they are. We've crashed this whole goddamn sector. I mean, a lot of people will consider this the low run of YouTube. It is the truth. So I misspelled invasion. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you because I don't want to be out here be called stupid. I wonder why the usually spell check picks all that up, but this time it didn't pick it up. Yeah, I spelled it a couple of different ways. So it's Lord have mercy. I'm dyslexic and my spelling ain't shit. Thank God for spell check. All right, change it to I-N-I-O. Where you at? I-O-N. Mm-hmm. And he calls himself a writer. Y'all believe writers don't have proofreaders and editors? Please. Your channel is about, okay, designed by V. Your channel is about home decor? What happened? Well, that's my thing, honey. Designed by V. Okay, we'll go over there too. Yeah, I see. If you look up one person, if you look up a black person, I don't know how to do the algorithms and so forth, but a black designer, like an interior designer, if you look up one, they'll start showing you all, but somehow or other, they're showing you now all the black people who do it. It's very strange. But yeah, we'll check you out. Designed by V. Designs by V. Mm-hmm. I would do something like that if I had more space. You can only redecorate a bedroom so many times, you know. Shopping on a budget. We can't do no more shopping on a budget. Well, we can't do no more trashing. I mean, we can't go to thrift stores anymore. They're mostly gone here in San Francisco. Most of their property all got used, and now they built high rises on them, condominiums on the properties. It's just hard to make it on small businesses with used furniture and stuff. Even you got to travel even to get to a damn Goodwill store here now. But I do a lot of stuff on just like Amazon and Wayfair and stuff like that. I got a few things off there. Good evening, Uncle Tim. I skipped a lot of people. Let me see. Okay. Hi, you guys. Invasion of the, okay, I was here. I misspelled, okay, invasion. We'll get that together. Now you made me paranoid. I thought, oh, he on there looking stupid. You better rescue me. Mm-hmm. Where is Timothy Blaine? Right here?
Where is Timothy Blaine? Right here?
Oh, I put A instead of I. Okay.
Timothy Blaine right here? Oh, I put A instead of I. Okay.
Be quiet. Edit video is so simple. I'm only doing it right now because I know I'll forget it as soon as I hang up. Welcome to 63 avatars. No, I spelled invasion wrong. So I did get avatars right eventually. Okay. Oh, I got invitations. Okay. I got to change the S. T to a S. It sounds alike. I'm trying to do capital S. Okay. All right. We fixed that. Come on back over here. Oh my God. I got the wrong channel. There we go. Okay. How y'all doing on Saturday? People have jobs and everyone ain't camera ready. People have jobs. So they're on their job. What difference does that make? They're on their jobs trying to do videos. Girl, do your job and people are paying you. Everyone ain't camera ready. The sector with all this doxing leaves no choice. Well, what were we doing before then? I mean, what happened? What had happened? Well, why was everybody on live a year ago before live stream? What happened? All this goddamn doxing and shit. And people, if the only way you can think that you can be interesting or your channel could be interesting is by calling the FBI, then girl, you need to get your ass on somewhere and go away. You're just destroying what we had going here. Yes, a lot of people will use that excuse. It's because people dox. But we're gonna let them just take over the goddamn channel. So now we're all just looking at the radio. We all just sitting up here. There are other things to do, honey. I guess it's fine if you're in your car, you're listening on the radio, or you're walking, you're in the supermarket, you got your headphones on, stuff like that. But to sit in your house and just sit there looking at the damn empty ass screen is ridiculous. They are giving this speaks person too much. Yes, they are. That's what got me pissed off. I said, well, god damn, it's been 3 weeks, a month now, and you still ain't figured this motherfucker out. And why is she? What is so important about this person who doesn't even have a channel? No, he has a channel now. But I mean, just come out of nowhere and just manipulate us so easily. Right? She's manipulated us now. We don't know if it's a male, a female, a child molester. What the fuck? We don't even know who it is. So what is so interesting about this person? This person is an avatar. This person could be a 98-year-old woman sitting in her rocking chair laughing at us all day. Literally, it could be that. It could also be a 14-year-old kid. It could be anybody. Right? Why is that so interesting? What kind of conversation is that, honey? They spend an hour after hour after hour. What the hell is this? This motherfucker Janet Jackson or somebody? What has she done that's so interesting? Nothing. An invasion. Invasion of the avatars. So we're gonna just let them say, okay, I be doxxed, so therefore you cannot come live anymore. You cannot show your face. You got to have an avatar and all that kind of shit, right? So where does it stop? They just take whatever the fuck they want to take and turn it into whatever the hell they want to turn it into. So we are surrendering what we used to have here, which was just a social media interaction with humans, right? So you just think of a personality and you just go and be that online. Is that what it is? I'm just telling you, it's not that interesting, people. I mean, I guess people will eventually get sick of this damn StreamYard where everybody's yelling and screaming. You can't hear what the hell's going on. Not only can you not hear what's going on, you can't even see what's going on. You can't see nothing. All you hear is a lot of people yelling and screaming. You might hear one insult every now and then. But basically, you can't see anything because everybody's behind the avatar, and you can't hear anything because everybody's screaming at the same time. What the fuck have we done to entertain? That's entertainment. They are giving speaks way too much energy. Okay. Only the YouTubers who make it to CNN, TMC are running the YouTube brand. Y'all fine. Okay. Only the YouTubers who make it to. Let me open this window. It's hot and stuffy in here. Excuse me, baby. Excuse me, dog. Oh, it's kind of cloudy today. I want you to be a star. Make up a personality, and you can make up an avatar, and then you're a star. Don't you want to be a personal star? Don't you want somebody to know who you are? I mean, isn't that the whole idea behind celebrity? If you people are trying to be famous, you're trying to be celebrities and all that. How are you going to make a damn avatar celebrity? How, whatever, child, whatever. Maybe your uncle just too old. He's behind the time. So I'm trying to think of where does this thing go to, though? Hello to all. Hi, Fraser Jameson. Miss Ma'am. Mm-hmm. Infiltration. That's right. Well, I could have used that word. Infiltration. Mm-hmm. I think some content creators take stuff way too serious. It's just entertainment. People follow the people that are interesting to them for whatever reason. I don't get the whole doxing. The whole doxing thing fucked everything up. People don't want to hear me. They got all mad. He's scared of the white man. The white man gonna get him. That's what he's scared of. The white man gonna get it. He coming to get you. The white man gonna take your money. Girl. From the very beginning, I was saying it is the doxing, girl. It is the disrespect. You have no right. You have no right. You're going to infecting people's lives, trying to make them uncomfortable, trying to make it hard for them to sleep because they're worried about some bitch on YouTube digging in their personal life because they have the safety of being in a different state. That's it. That's why they do it. They say anybody, they ain't gonna get no plane on me. They're all, gangsters. Because the people can't get to you. And so you take advantage of that and you use that. And your doxing is what it is contributed to this mess that we find ourselves in. Where we're all sitting up here looking at pictures. Some of them go on 8 hours, 7, 8 hours. Just look at the picture. How did that hold a person's interest? Why did television become so popular? Why did video become so popular? Why did cable become so popular? We want to go back to radio because that's what you're turning it into. You're turning it into radio. When you listen to the radio, you can clean your house. You can do other things. Ain't nobody sitting up there looking at no damn radio like this. I say if they show you some of the old like Leave It to Beaver stuff, and you'll see the people standing around, they all standing around the radio, listening to the radio station. We want to go back to the 1950s. Lord have mercy. Primo, okay. What is this? Good evening, Rochelle Bailey. Hi, Rochelle. We go way back. The picture gave you away. Oh, that's somebody else. Hi, Primo Wanda. Get behind me, Satan. Now, I don't got a problem with you guys. Obviously, you're already in avatars behind when you're in comments and so forth. That's what you have to be. It's not like we have a lot of little people in there talking and so forth. So that is the proper use for it, really. But now it's carried over into the actual content creators are also avatars. It's like a podcast with live chat function. Okay, there you go. So podcasts. I don't think I've ever listened to a podcast. Unless somebody sent me over there for some reason. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to be drawn into wanting to listen to some person. I don't even know who was behind there. An avatar. I just don't see it. Can't hold my interest, honey. Some really good stories. Mm-hmm. What did Robbie say? Okay. Keyboard gangster. Yeah, you say anything you want to behind here. Kind of boring though. Did you receive my email? Yes, Nappy Child. I went over to hear that brother. It's like he's an older entertainer, right? The style of music is older. Yeah, I only listened to maybe 2 or 3 hits of his records. But yes, I did get it. I don't care about the avatars on the live videos. People's expressions is what keeps me engaged. Right. It's so much less engaging. Right? Somebody's yelling. What the fuck is that? You're yelling behind a goddamn bouncing ball. And then StreamYard, it can be trying as well because it's so hard to organize it, to keep it where people can hear it and so forth. So maybe people need to research how to do that better. Right? Now, I'm not criticizing these girls if they have something that is working for them, like what was the damn thing called? The Thunderdome the last couple of weeks. People have really enjoyed that. So maybe they'll do that for a while kind of thing. But it's just not the same as what the beef sector was. Now, people will accuse old people, say, oh, you want everything to stay the same. Everything well, we don't mind if it gets better, honey. Interim will getting better, but you're going back to the 1950s. And quiet is kept. People will say, oh, it's like a podcast, but the podcast has its place. If you're driving, if you're moving, if you're doing other things, you can listen. It's why we all got headphones and all this kind of stuff. But are people even doing blogs anymore? I mean, remember now, 2 years ago, blogs were the thing. That's what Funky Dineva and that alien person, that's what they had. They had blogs where people go and read. But are people even reading the newspaper anymore? I'm just asking. There was a time in history that people who working at professionals like the newscasters and all that, basically all they're doing is reporting on what's in the New York Times. But regular people, y'all know a lot of the newspapers went out of business, right? Think of how many people are not reading anymore. I mean, the entertainment has become video, right? So I don't think blogs are very popular anymore. I think people have moved to vlogs. Blogs, just talk. Entire video. Okay, Janelle. I have trouble staying for an entire video when it's only avatars only. Me too. I can't do it. You got to give me something visual, honey. That I don't know if it's just a man thing. Men like to see stuff. We are really into the visual. I'm only speaking on a man because that's what I am. But the visual is what makes it interesting. I'm not going to turn my television on to sit and look at a picture. Am I making any sense at all? I mean, aside from this doxing, I don't even know what. I just don't even like the word the doxing thing. And yes, we are moving along nicely with our novel, though. It's been great material, but we shouldn't all be so scared now that we are hiding in our little hovels, scared to look at the goddamn camera. So that means they win. The avatars have taken over. Hi, Lady Knuckles. Now let me ask you something, Lady Knuckles. Now, are you known for punching people? Why did you Lady Knuckles? Are you known? My mom, I think I told you this before. My mama, we used to call her something like Lady Knuckles, right? Because she would get mad at us. We would be misbehaving or whatever, particularly in church. And she would take her knuckle, right? This right here. And she tried to implant her thoughts into our brains, I guess. Lady Knuckles. Absolutely not, says Lady Knuckles. I don't fight. I don't hit nobody. It's a video. Oh, okay. Okay. It's a video game reference. See, it's always better to just ask. I apologize, Lady Knuckles. You're not like my mama. Okay. I think we used to call that meteorizers. Podcaster have personalities and they can tell stories to draw you in. Okay, so a podcaster will be 1, 2, 3 people who do a podcast, but their thoughts, they're taking turns talking and so forth. That's like when you watch the news, you know, they've always used some of this technology where they have many screens over many people, but you never go onto the news, the evening news, and see them all screaming at each other. I mean, they know because they're professionals that we have to take turns talking. You know, when it's political season, people are heated. They have their opinions, Republicans and Democrats and all that kind of stuff. They may overlap a little bit, but usually, like somebody like Anderson, a professional, will tell them, I can't hear you because you're talking at the same time, right? We have to discipline ourselves if we're going to do something like that. I think what I would change about, not that I'm an expert or anything, the thing that I would change about that StreamYard, I would say the moderator has the power to mute, and you cannot unmute it. What difference does it make if they can mute you, but you can't? But they can just go and unmute it to continue screaming, right? So I would take that away. You can't unmute your own self, or advise your people before they come on. Listen, if I mute you, if you unmute yourself twice, you're out. That's the rule. Right? Just to be able to hear people talk, so we can understand what they're saying at least. I mean, they could do you don't have to be, even when I've been on StreamYard, I still don't use avatar. I mean, I know how to go and make the picture a ball and all that kind of shit. I said, no. I mean, if I'm going to do YouTube, I'm doing it as myself. So I'm not trying to learn every little trick in the book. I'm just saying there are people who I used to look at regularly all the time, right? When they became avatars, I became less interested. They couldn't hold my interest by just looking at a picture. I'd be like me looking at that statue, you know. Put a microphone behind this thing and let the statue talk and just sit there and look at it. Whatever. Only an opinion. Okay, so you said, okay, so let me say what you said, Janelle. The constant avatar lives are not like good podcasts. Podcasters have personalities and can tell stories to draw you in. Okay, and they tend to be more professional anyway. All you need to start a YouTube channel is to just click the right buttons, and you can be on in a couple of days. I think they take a couple of days to get on. Anybody, you know. But if you're scared, like what's that girl used the name? VS, you say, if you're scared, go to church. Oh, thank you, Danielle. Dana, you see, oh, look at the avatar. No, that's the emoji, the heart emoji. Thank you, I appreciate you. Is that Dana? No, yeah, it's the guy though. Okay, appreciate you, brother. Okay, yes, but I would like the videos dedicated to the stories similar to his video about Jermaine Stewart. Oh, you like that about Jermaine? I don't know, but a couple of celebrities, whatever. Baby, most of my stories, since I was a dope fiend for most of my life, are not ready for prime time, honey. Only other drug addicts would find that interesting. All the police kicking the door in, all this shit, all the snitching and all the sex shit, all that stuff, it would not be interesting to a normal audience, I don't think. All the crime, all the scamming, you know, you would do dope. It's all you do is scam. And I hate to say it, but many times the general public, you're the victims. So why would it be entertaining to you, right? So a lot of that life I had to leave behind. Sure, there are stories about, you know, lifetime stories, things like that. I didn't think that I didn't think, what do you call those story times were that much of a draw. But, you know, I don't mind talking about whatever. I mean, whatever happened, it happened. When you get old, all you got is your memories. We love, Miss Ma'am, we love sex stories and scams. That's always been odd for me, honey. A lot of these gay boys, they be on there talking about their buttholes and all this shit. I said, "Girl, is that good conversation for mixed company?" I don't know that it is. Sometimes I recoil. I say, "Ooh, you nasty." Does they think, "Oh, he's a prude," because I'm always saying, "You nasty. You are nasty." I just think you're nasty, and I think some things should remain private, honey. I don't think sex is something for YouTube. I mean, of course, you know, there are things people can talk about, but just talking about your personal sex life, nope. Like I told y'all before, when I'm watching a movie and they start with the sex scenes, you know, they got to show you one breast or they got to show you his ass walking into the. I fast forward past the scene. I said, "Get back to the murder. I want to hear the story, honey. I don't sit there looking at your ass." I guess that's part of just being old, honey. Roxanne, you say you're wrong. Those stories are fascinating. You don't know, honey. Those stories are light, believe me. But yeah, we all get along on here. We're straight and gay, mostly straight women and gay men. But everything is not for the public, honey. Whatever you can remember. I don't remember most of it. Oh, there was all kinds of stories. Remember, I've been to prison 10 times. I got a story, but I don't know how well they work in mixed company. I'm interested. Tell me more. Y'all gotta watch Pose. Is Pose coming back on? I keep seeing these posters all over the bus stops here. Pose coming back. So Pose try to tell you the story, honey. They would tell you about the S&M tricks and all this kind of stuff. They had the white guy fell in love with the hooker and all this kind of shit. They were attempting to tell you the real low down, honey. Mm-hmm. I do when in my writing, I tell stories. I mean, I tell the truth. Oversharing. Oh, that's too much. Oh, excuse me. I watch a lot of. Well, I don't know. Documentaries about those sorts of things all the time. You watch documentaries about those sorts of things all the time. Mm-hmm. Cecil Hotel and all that. Well, America has a fascination with. I mean, look at all the crime stories. I watch a lot of those too. America. I mean, we like violence. We like most of the movies you see. There's some kind of violence in there, murder mystery, or somebody got killed. Somebody's a drug dealer. Somebody's some. You know, we have a fascination with that kind of stuff. Street life. I don't like gritty street life, and I cannot watch a prison movie. I just can't. Why I can't do it. Because all I do is sit there and say, "Oh, that wouldn't happen. Oh, that would happen. Oh, that's not realistic," and all that. I said, fuck it. Honey, prison is behind me. I ain't got no interest in it. Mm-hmm. Prison sex. Ooh, prison sex stories, even better. Oh, mm-hmm. I didn't do a whole lot of that. I had a couple of guys I was talking to in there, but I'm not into the rough trade thing. That's what they're into. The gay boys, they get into prison and they become the women, right? And no, it's not about nobody raping them, nobody turning them out, and all that kind of stuff. But when you're in prison, the men who are basically straight men, as far as we know, they like things that are feminine, right? They're not going to go up there with a masculine looking man and walk the yard with a masculine looking man holding his hand. But now, if you can put a little rouge on your eyebrows or switch your ass a little more, they enjoy that kind of thing because it doesn't challenge their masculinity. You understand? So I would not be a popular type there. But a lot of these girls that people make fun of on the street, laugh at, and all this kind of shit, when they get to prison, they become princesses because that's the closest that people can get to a woman, right? Because they basically still are heterosexual. They like the feminine. I'm not that. If you going in there arching your eyebrows and all that kind of putting lipstick or Kool-Aid on your lips and all that kind of stuff, they eat that shit up. They send them cigarettes and books and all kind of stuff. They ain't send me nothing, honey. Mm-mm. When if you're too masculine, they say, who's zooming who in there? Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear about S3 S3X stories though. You would never have to worry about hearing from me, honey. No, baby, some things better left it in the bedroom. Keep it in the closet. She don't did it. Did you want to get it on? Because she's got to get it. She's got to get it. Oh, she's got that girl. She's going to get it. Keep it in the closet. Bean dong back did it. I love the way Michael Jackson used to make up words. What's the bean dong back did it? Until you want to get it on. And she's got to get it. That was hot. What was that? Naomi Campbell, I think he did that video with. Story times. The underbelly, the street stories. Some people get attitude with you though, because you say, "Oh, you so drug, you're hurting the community." There's so many. I don't know. It's just different. It's a different world. It's like a parallel universe, honey. And I don't know. It's just behind me. The soft underbelly. Okay, the soft underbelly. Right. No one is the same. I know you've seen that 1979 movie, Penitentiary. I couldn't watch that movie fully until I was turned 18. I don't watch no prison movies. I still have a hard time watching slave movies. I have a hard time seeing people abused, honey. I can't watch nothing that's going to involve any kind of gay bashing. I can't watch slave movies, not things that are very graphic. Like I tried to watch The Butler recently, right? That's the Lee Daniels movie with Oprah and all that. And the first scene they had was of this slave master raping this black woman in front of her husband. And then the husband, when he even tried to complain, I mean, he barely said, and the man killed him. Now, see, that's not entertaining to me. I can't make it entertaining for myself, right? So a lot of stuff I can't deal with. At the same time, I like gangster movies. I like the all the scheming, and the way gangsters interact, the battles they have and stuff like that. I don't like the actual graphic violence. I don't like the violence part. I miss Motown. Okay. Yeah, thumbs up, please. That movie, okay. Did you get into any prison fights? I had a couple of battles. I had battles, but a prison fight is, I always lived most of the time, in dormitories, right? So a prison fight, they always had police around you, like the police. You were in the dorm. I was in the dorm because I was HIV positive, and they had all of the people who were HIV positive in San Quentin. They had us all in what used to be the gym. There used to be a sport in prison. They would have these fights, right? So they had like a gym with a ring in the middle. They took the ring out when HIV came, and they put us all in that thing, right? So the police were on like a raised thing. They could see everything. So if there was a fight, your fight wouldn't last no more than a minute, 2 minutes, because he would push his button, and then all these cops would rush in, and then next thing you know, you are sitting in a hole where you have no contact with people for 3 months. So it didn't really behoove you to get into a lot of fights. They had more of those on the yards where the guys were, where they, you know how straight guys are. And a lot of times all they do is work out. So they go in there like regular people, and then they come out looking like gorillas because they got these great big old arms and muscles, because all they do is work out. And they get the testosterone going, and so forth. So they fought a lot more than we did. But me personally, I had my skirmishes. My thing was always my mouth. I could always usually talk my way out of situations. And I was a popular guy in prison. I didn't have a lot of problems. Gay people who had problems in prison were people who said they weren't gay. Now, if you walking, you're walking like you're Beyonce or some damn body, and you keep saying you're not gay, the people, they get very interested in you calling yourself gay. They take that personally some kind of way. Another thing in the prison is, at least in California, prisons are very, very racist. They would never put a black and a white person in a prison in California, right? They would never do that. And so people were very concerned if you were having sex with somebody outside of your race. These are straight men with no interest in a general way in gay people, but they were very interested in who was zooming who. Couldn't do it outside of your race. They would get mad if you were on one yard and you were seeing somebody on another yard. Two gay guys were together. That would be a problem, because if they got in the fight, it was going to involve everybody. So they watched us like they watched the soap operas. Who is him? Oh, he with him. Oh, he fell out with him. I said, girl, why do you give a fuck? But they do. Yeah, it's not a whole lot to do in there, honey. And the masculine men, particularly men who were doing a long time, people were doing 20, 30 years, they would be on the yard with their gay boyfriend holding hands, and they would kiss them in the mouth on the yard. And we're talking about people who've been in there a long, long time, right? Who are known people, sometimes hyper masculine people, but they would never do like that with somebody like me. It'd have to be somebody like almost a drag queen in there. It's hard to be a drag queen in prison because you can only do so much. When they take your hair off, so usually you're bald headed, like a bald headed dude, but then you get lipstick and all this kind of stuff on. So you got to struggle to try to make yourself appear to be feminine. And cops are always making you take off all that stuff and all that. So I've never been that kind of gay. It's not a criticism, it's just the truth. Squeenie, where you at, Squeenie? Say hello. Look over the camera. I'll never do it, Daddy. Not one time. Look out. Hi, look at the camera. Hey, you looking at the camera, you little rascal. Hey, he waving the tail. When they wave the tail, that means they're happy. Okay, get out of here. Ding dong ding. Ding 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 ding. Oh, da 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 da. Ding 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 ding. What are you doing to me, Daddy? See, he got his love. He ready to go now. Have you been a mentor for someone who has been in and out of jail due to drug addiction? Your story is powerful. Have I been a mentor? I used to participate in, Elaine, a mentor program at my church. These were not prisoners. These were just young gay kids. A lot of times they were homeless and so forth. So we had a mentorship program. But the youngster I was assigned to was really just working me for burritos and shit. We're still friends, try to lead them in the right direction kind of thing. But no, I didn't do a lot of, I didn't go back into the prison to talk and stuff like that. Now, when I was in program, that was consideration, because when I was in program, I still didn't know what I was going to do for a living or anything like that. All I knew about was street life. So a lot of people who go through a program become drug counselors, and this becomes their life's work, right? And it's a great thing. People are willing to, but the residual return rate among counselors is pretty high. But for me, I discovered that for me, I am delivered from drugs. That is no longer my life, right? I didn't think it was good for me to be in an environment where I was always talking about dope and drugs. Now, if people say that's selfish, I can't help it. I had to protect myself. For me, it didn't work for me. The same reason I'm not in 12-step of Alcoholics Anonymous, because now I've volunteered for a program, but basically it's like an Al-Anon kind of place for years. I volunteered there until COVID came, something like 15 years, where I would serve the community kind of thing. And many conversations with young people and stuff like that. But let me see, I almost lost my train of thought. But when I realized that the only time I thought about drugs is when I went to a 12-step meeting, I had to say, listen, this is not working for me. Because now I'm thinking about drugs again. I was supposed to be free from drugs. So for me, everybody's different. Some people, they'll come in and 12-step works for them beautifully. and they'll just go to 12-step meetings for the rest of their life. They have instant community. They bond with people in that way, and they want to talk about drugs, so they remember it always on their mind, right? For me, that didn't work. Some people, they go and they get therapy. They figure out what their issues are, why they did drugs, and I did some of that. Figure out what triggers me, things like that. But primarily, my experience was a spiritual experience, right? God delivers, but you have to receive that. You have to accept that. So when I accept that I am delivered from drugs, I am not dependent on 12-step meetings. I'm not dependent on therapy anymore. I'm not dependent on anything. God has delivered me. You have to accept that, though. And that's a very difficult thing for a lot of people. So it has worked for me. It has worked for me. Now, I've done volunteer since I've been clean. I'm very involved in my church, but almost instantly it was about church for me, right? It wasn't about hanging out with other addicts. Because in my 20s, I went to 12-step. I went to 12-step at first at 25 years old. And I was mostly clean from 25 to 28. 28, I relapsed on alcohol, and then I found crystal meth, and that would change the whole thing. But almost instantly, when I got clean this time, I almost instantly knew, because there were AA meetings in the prison. I didn't want to go back there. It didn't work for me, honey. I don't want to sit up talking about drugs all day. I don't want to hear people coming in telling me about how much sex they had. It doesn't work for me. It didn't help me. So figure out not only what doesn't work for you, but what does work for you. So if I want to be of service to somebody, I want to help somebody, then I would have to do it outside of drug program or 12-step. For me, even working at the coffee shop, when the guys when they first come in, all they know is the life, right? So sometimes, here's the thing. I only knew about crystal meth when I was 28 years old in 12-step meeting, right? I only knew about the crystal meth. I mean, I heard about it. Everybody heard about it. I only knew about it, though, when people would come in off the street and they would tell us about what their life had been like, because they're looking for support, which is what they do there, right? My name is Bobby. I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict or whatever. And then when they tell their stories, they would tell you about crystal meth, right? And the effects of crystal meth. When I relapsed on alcohol, what do you think the first thing I did was? I had to try this crystal meth. So right there, I'm seeing that this does not work for me. I don't want to hear about no damn drugs. I went on too much. I'm sorry. Much respect. Thank you, Scott. Yeah. Some people have told me they've been inspired by my book, though, or my personality on here. Whatever. I talk to people one-on-one. But you got to figure out what works for you. And, they talk about in there about, I was in this like a drug counselor I was seeing. I'm now a facilitator at that agency. I still do that. But I told this guy, his drug counselor, when I got to this, it's like a program in Castro. I said, listen, I feel triggered. I feel like I'm obsessed with drugs. I haven't thought about drugs for months and months, and now I feel triggered to use drugs again, right? So the counselor there was wise enough to walk me through the process. He says, did you want to use when you left Walden House? That was the drug program I was in, right? I know I was fine. I was in a good mood when I left the house. Okay, so you left the house. This place is like 1.5 miles from the drug program I was in. And I was on this, I had earned the right to go out on my own to this drug counselor. He said, so what happened? Okay, I said, I got on the bus. I was on the way here. And as we were coming down Polk Street, I saw the building where I used to sell drugs. This is the building where I had been busted many times. They kicked my door in many times at this hotel, right? And up in the window, he was just walking me through it. He said, then what happened? I said, well, up in the window, I saw in this hotel where I used to sell drugs and do drugs. There was a guy in the window. He was high and he was naked up in the window, right? And he said, so when did you start thinking about drugs? When I saw that guy. Okay, that's your trigger. That's what triggered you, right? So it helped me immensely to figure out what triggered me to be thinking about drugs again. And that's what it was. That helps me. So it helps me understand that I don't necessarily need to be knowing anything about no damn dope. I don't need to know about no drugs. I don't need to be repeating stories about drugs, all that kind of thing. That is what triggered me. So I went from him. I did therapy for about 5 years. But whatever, we didn't talk about dope. Of course, in church, you don't talk about dope. You talk about God. You talk about your spiritual condition, you know. And God has been faithful to me, honey. He has stayed with me. That has not gone away. Even though I haven't been to church in a whole damn year, he's still there. So there was no God before I got delivered. And since that happened for me, it has not diminished at all, my faith. My Meth Monster, the original name on the book was Recovery by Faith. I thought it sounded too boring, so I went with Meth Monster. Right. Mm-hmm. It's just what works for me. Many things work for a lot of people. 12-step works for a lot of people, honey. A whole lot of people. It didn't work for me. A lot of times people will give up. I hate those meetings. I hate those. I said, well, girl, don't go to them. That don't mean you got to use dope because you don't go to those meetings. You know, like the 12-step is like church, where they make you feel like this is the only way. If you are not in AA, then you are you're on a dry drunk and you're going to use. That's what the kind of rhetoric they'll tell you there. Just like the Baptists would tell you that this is the only way. All the rest of them going to hell. They say, oh, the Catholic going to hell because they got the real Jesus on the wall. You can't have no graven images. They, you know, each one has some reason for that they are special. It's the same thing with 12-step, honey. And it is not the truth. It is not the truth. It's not the same formula for every single person. Is that Blessed Walkins? Blessed Walkins, is that you for real? Because you have Blessed Walkins number 2. And it's your picture and everything. Mm-hmm. Tim and Chad, how you guys? Okay. What else is going on? How is the new book coming along? Well, I'm in the middle of chapter 5. So yes, it's coming on a nice clip. It's about, I'd say, a third of the way through. I'm shooting for 15 to 18 chapters, and I'm ready to enter chapter 6. So that's good. A long time ago, I decided that when I was writing, I'm not going to spend more than a year on a book, mainly because the book that I wrote, the novel that I wrote, I don't have it right handy, but Love and Gospel Music, that book took 3.5 years to write. I said, I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again. Maybe these people who make a living from writing, that's fine. But what I've discovered is people's attention spans are shorter. You do better to write a smaller book. So I said, well, I'll work on a book no more than a year. You know, you write it for 10, 11 months, and then you spend a month editing. And what a big problem with Love and Gospel Music was, I had his editor, which is a very good editor. He edited my book for free. We were in drug program together. We were just friends. But all he could spare was, because he had his own busy career, you know, he's clean as well. All he really could spare was an hour a week. So about halfway through the book, I started seeing my editor, but I only had him for one hour a week, right? And so that stretched that process out 3.5 years. So that book took me about 2 years to write. So now it's always a year. All the next 4 books that I wrote after that, or the next 3 I wrote after that, they're all in at a year. Now, you don't want to just abruptly stop. I hate books like that. I hate a story where I've read the whole damn story, spent hours and hours and hours of my time, and then at the end, it looks like the person just wrapped it up real quick. So you can't do that. That's why I say from 15 to 18 chapters, right? When you get to 15, you can start looking at avenues out now. How can you wrap the story? But you don't just want to get to 15 and stop. It could be anywhere from 15 to 18. We'll see. I will finish it though. That is the goal. And it's a good book. It's a very good, it involves this thing here. Everything that happens on here is somehow it appears something similar in this book, right? Now, obviously, we're not murdering each other on here, but a lot of the circumstances, though, a lot of the beefs kind of thing, they all appear in this book. You will recognize it. People who watch this will recognize it. But the goal was to make it entertaining for people who are not familiar with the beef sector, right? So it's an old-time murder mystery. I say that, but you don't know what it's going to be really to the end of it. And the real work occurs in the rewrite. The second time around is when you smooth out the story, right? So if you have a certain person being the killer at the end, then you got to go back from the beginning to either plant clues or put clues or acknowledge clues from the very beginning of why this person makes sense at the end. You don't want a story where like I don't like a lot of Sherlock Holmes, the new ones. I don't like them because they're so convoluted that you would never guess who it was. It needs to make sense. Anyway, so murder mystery is a new challenge. But my book, The Epiphany, I think it has 6 murders in it. 6 or 7 murders in it. So this ain't my first time at the rodeo. Mm-hmm. Okay. I also wonder about how do you know a story is over? I've been watching writing channels lately. That's how I started. Janelle, I used to love to watch those writing stories from other writers. I used to watch them before I even knew what a beef sector was. I had no idea this thing even existed. But I would go in there and listen to other writers telling me about their experience writing. I listened to a whole lot of them. But how I know the story's over, the story's just been told. At some point, it's told. Like y'all watched the Empire. At some point, like that last year, they were just stretching it out and stretching it, changing, and they were coming up with all these strange plots and all this kind of shit. The story was basically over after season 5. At some point, you just know it. Even great television like The Sopranos. I absolutely love The Sopranos, right? And I often wonder, I said, why did they end that after 6 seasons? Because it was so good, but it was over. It was done. And I wasn't crazy about the way they wrapped that one up either, but you know when the story's been told, honey. Mm-hmm. Loving Gospel Music ended when damn near everybody was dead. And they were in heaven. And even my little dog was in heaven. That was a cute story. I wish I had it right here. Even my dog was in heaven with his master. Well, 2 of them. The main character and the dog ended up dead, right? A psycho had killed the main character, and the dog had died of natural causes. But in heaven, the dog was talking to the master, right? Which could well be. It was my fantasy of what I thought it would be like after death. But that's right, Nicole Reloaded. Amazon books. Mm-hmm. You go to Amazon, you see all of them on there. I wrote 5 books. I don't know if people are still are reading as much. I suspect not. I don't read a lot of books. I listen to audio books, and that is the only way that I go to sleep. But I used to buy them or get them from the library, but now there's so many audio books on YouTube. I get them off YouTube. I just put them on my phone, and that puts me to sleep. But unfortunately, I go to sleep and realize, well, I only read 3 pages. I never get past those 3 pages. So I don't need the whole book, I remember when you have the two dogs. Oh, you remember Jimmy and Squeenie? Jimmy and Squeenie. You know those names are both the same person, Bonnie. Jimmy was my first dog. He was my lover's. My lover passed away in about 92. And he was a dog lover. We had a dog together. But I always said if I had a dog, I would name him after him, right? Just I like to say his name, pleasant memory. But then when that dog died, I couldn't name my second dog Jimmy. So we had a pet name that we used in the privacy of our own home. I used to call him Squeenie. His name was Jimmy, but he was kind of a boyish kind of guy, and I like to call him Squeenie. And so that's why this dog, so they're both the same person. Squeenie. Woke up this morning, got myself a gun. Mama always said you be the chosen one. She said, you're one in a million and you got shotgun shine. Woke up this morning and got yourself a gun. Got yourself a gun. Got yourself a wank, bonk, wank, bonk. That was a good opening too, Janelle. Yeah, I love The Sopranos. I think I watched the series. I can't watch it now because I almost know every line that they say, but I must have watched it at least 4 times, all the way from beginning to the end. Sleep while hearing. Sleep while hearing? And what is sleep while hearing? Oh, on the book, yes. And you got to be careful, Charles Rose, because many times the book will end up in your dreams. So whatever the book is talking about, when you go to sleep, those same thoughts, that'll be the same theme of the story. I finally picked up on that. I said, oh, that's why I'm thinking about people killing me and chasing me. You know, a lot of dreams are people chasing you before they catch you. You know, you wake up and all that kind of stuff. So, but a lot of times it is inspired by what I've been reading. So actually, I probably should be reading the Bible. I read the Bible obsessively in pen, but you know, I'm dyslexic, so reading hardcover books is always been difficult for me. Just takes a long time going back over the same line again, reading backwards and all that shit. So audiobooks work for me best. Has it started raining? Micah? What's your name? Micah? Micah Black. Okay. It looks like it's about to rain any second. Micah Black. Yeah, it's been overcast all day and looks like it's about to rain any second. I heard it's going to rain this weekend, so it's on its way. I hear that train coming around the bend. We need rain, honey. We need rain to wash this damn city down. Like Prince said in Batman, this place needs an enema. Wash the air out and wash these streets down, you know. San Francisco's got an ongoing problem with homelessness. And I live in a good neighborhood, but even in what you call a good neighborhood, when you have a city that's only 7 by 7 miles, every neighborhood has got a certain amount of homelessness, right? So there's one corner in particular. So when the guys set up their tents and they bring their food and all this kind of stuff, it always seems so dirty, you know. I just part of living in the city, I guess. But when the rain comes, we get a fresh start. Yeah, supposed to. Oh, you must be local. Mackay. Been raining all day on the East Coast. Hi, Tim and Squeenie. Look at the little Squeenie dogs. So cute. They look like my baby. My baby don't got no black eye though. Red snapper. We will be stay safe, be blessed. Okay. Gotta run. Okay, Dana. All right, you guys been here an hour or so. So Good talking to you guys. Stay safe. Get your shots. I hope people are softening. Now, you know, of course, they always make the black people the most stupid in the world. You know, oh, the blacks ain't going to get the shot. They don't trust the system. Oh, the Tuskegee and all this kind of stuff. So they always criticize black people first. We're supposed to be the dumbest. And then now they're switched off of us and saying that Trump supporters won't get the shot. They're paranoid about getting the shot, which is the truth. So hopefully we're all softening to this idea that we don't have to. Even before I got the shot, I mean, I was already determined to get it. There's the only way out of it, really. So I had my first shot and I'm fine. So it does make you feel a little more confident. Okay. So you guys have a nice weekend. Talk to you later.